For this project, I'll be using this chunky yarn. It's the thick one, yeah, and it's 100% acrylic robin. It's made in Kenya, and I'll use this pair of scissors. I'll be using 2 crochet hooks. This one I'll use for the ribbing. It's a 3.5mm hook and then a 5mm hook for the entire work. I'll also use a tapestry needle and these buttons here. So guys, for this project, I'll start by working on the neck region. Remember, we are starting from the neck going downwards. For the measurements, you'll only take the neck measurements, especially the back of the neck. Once you have the measurements, maybe in centimeters or inches, you'll have a gauge swatch to just know the number of stitches you'll need for the back region. So I am using this theory, like once if I have 20 stitches for the back side of the neck, to have the front ones, the back and the front should be the same. And then for the sleeves, I take the back of the neck. Like for my case here, I had 20 stitches for the back side, meaning the front side, since this is an open sweater, it should be, I reduced the stitches by one because I'll be adding the ribbings into the side. So I had half of 20, 10 minus 1, so it's 9. And then for the shoulder region, I took half of the 20 and then half of the 10. So it should give me around 15, but I'll be using 14. So for my case, guys, I'll be starting by chaining 64 stitch chains. I'm going to chain the 64 chains and then I'll get back to you. I have my 64 chains ready, guys. I'm going to start working into the first row. So I'm going to start by skipping the first 2 chains, work a herringbone double crochet into the third chain, and then work a herringbone double crochets until we have 9 of them. This is the first part. This is the first front part of one side. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and 9. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. This is going to be the first part of the sweater. I'm now going to work into one of the sleeves. So guys, to divide, like to separate the front part and the sleeves, I'm going to chain 2 and work another herringbone double crochet into the same stitch, and this one is going to count as the first stitch for the sleeves, and I'm going to have 14 of them. So I'll work into the next 13 chains, herringbone double crochets. That is to give me 14 in the end of it, and that is going to act as the sleeves. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So that is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 12 13 14. Now this is going to be one of the sleeves. Like I told you, I'm going to separate again so that I can now have the back side of the sweater. I'm going to chain 2 and then work a herringbone double crochet into the same stitch like that. I'm now going to work 20. I'm going to work 20 herringbone double crochets, and then this is going to be included, meaning I should work into the next 19 chains. So I'm going to count 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So I'm going to work the 20th one, chain 2 as usual, work another herringbone double crochet into the same stitch. This is going to be the back side. I'm now going to work another sleeve, that is 14 herringbone double crochets and then 9. So this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. And then I'm now going to chain 2, work another herringbone double crochet into the same, and they should be 9, so I'm going to work into these remaining chains. And just like that, guys, we have our first row complete. As you can see, we already have a square, like this is the neck region, this is the back side, this is the sleeves, and these are going to be the front parts. So to start the second row, this is now easy. We are going to chain 1, turn our work, and then work a herringbone double crochets into each stitch until the point we have our corners. So 1, 2, now at this point where we worked our 1 herringbone double crochet, 2 chains, and another herringbone double crochet. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to work a herringbone double crochet, 2 chains, and another herringbone double crochet into the same, and then I'll continue working my herringbone double crochets until the point we have another corner. So guys, it's basically a repeat. we'll be doing this, working into each stitch. Once we are at this point, we work a herringbone double crochet, 2 chains and another herringbone double crochet at the same point. Continue working at the points, 1 herringbone double crochet, 2 chains, another herringbone double crochet, just like that. Once we are at this point, remember the first part we started, we'll work into the second chain, yeah, and then turn our work, chain 1, and begin the same way we began here. So you'll work like that, guys, until you'll achieve your desired length. That is the length until your armpit region, and then I'll see you there. So guys, I have my 11 rows complete. I'm now going to take you through the steps I'm going to take to isolate the sleeves, so that you can now work on the entire body until the point we feel we have our waistline, and then we'll work on the sleeves, our neckline, and the ribbing, and we'll have our work complete. So guys, I'm at the point, I'm at the end of one of my rows. I'm going to just start the row like the way I've been doing the other ones. I'm going to chain 1 and then turn my work. Yeah, so I'm going to continue with my with my herringbone double crochet, just like that. I'm going to work this until the point we'll be doing 1 double crochet, 1 herringbone double crochet, 2 chains, and another herringbone double crochet in the same stitch. I'm coming towards the point, guys, and as you can see, I'm working on my last stitch, and then I'm now at this point where we've been working a 1 herringbone double crochet, 2 chains, and another herringbone double crochet. So I'll work 1 herringbone double crochet, I'll work another one. I'm not going to chain 2, I'll just work 2 herringbone double crochet into this space here, like that. Now guys, as you can see, I'm supposed to leave out this part. This is the part that will later on work as the sleeve. So I'm going to join this point to this point here. Yeah, so I've already worked my 2 herringbone double crochets here at this point, and then I'm going to chain 2, guys, and join this work into this point, this other point, yeah, this one. So I'll just work a herringbone double crochet into this point, like that, and then work another one into the same point, and just like that, guys, I'll continue working my herringbone double crochet like that. So guys, I've continued with my herringbone double crochets, as you can see, and I'm now at the point we'll be doing another 2 herringbone double crochets. So I'm just going to work 1 herringbone double crochet into this chain here, into this stitch rather, like that, and then get into this point where we will work 2 herringbone double crochet. Guys, remember, we are not going to chain 2. We are not going to chain 2. Yeah, I have now worked my 2 herringbone double crochets. I'll chain 2, and then just like the way I did in the other point here, I'm going to just work a herringbone double crochet directly into the other point, work another herringbone double crochet, and then continue with my herringbone double crochets until the point we will complete this row. And I'm now coming to the end of my row, guys. Yeah, and like that, sorry, let me turn the work. Just like that, as you can see, I have isolated the sleeves. You now have the point will be working our sleeves here, and the other point will be working our sleeves here. And so guys, I hope you can see that this part has just continued this with the stitches uninterrupted like that, and the same thing applies here. So we are going to now continue with our rows the normal way. I'll start here by chaining one. I'll chain one, turn my work, and continue with my herringbone double crochets, guys. Even at this point where we have chained two, we'll just get into these stitches with herringbone double crochets, just the normal way, and we'll continue working these rows, several of them, until the point will feel that you'll have achieved your desired length. And I'll see you after that, guys. I now have worked my sweater. I've done several rows from the point that I left here, that's just below the armpit region, until down here. This is roughly how many inches? Let me see. 10 inches. Yeah, this is roughly 10 inches from the armpit region. These measurements is based on my son's length, or height rather. So I'm now going to take you through how I'm going to do the ribbing here, and then we'll add the sleeves. So guys, to do my ribbing, I'm going to use 3.5 millimeter hook. I've changed from the one I was using. So I'm going to do my ribbing using the single crochet back loop only method of ribbing. So I'm going to start by chaining 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Once I have my 7 chains, guys, I'm now going to work the first row of single crochets coming downwards. I'm going to be working on these back loops, these ones. So I'll start by working a single crochet. Working on the back loops may be a little bit tough, but yeah, you try making them loose and chaining them so that it doesn't give you some hard time. So I'll be working single crochets all the way down. Sorry, I made my work a little bit tight. Yeah. And then I have the 7th one. Like that, I've worked seven single crochets, and then to attach this work to these lower parts, I'll slip stitch into the next 2 stitches. Yeah, these two, this one and this one. So I'll slip stitch like this, the first one and the second one. Yeah, so remember guys, when I was making my single crochets, I started with 6 chains, draw 7 chains, so I should remain with the same 7 chains. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I'm not going to count these 2. I'm not going to count these 2 that I used when slip stitching. I'll just focus on the 7 stitches. So I'm going to turn my work like this to start my row back upwards, and this time we'll be working on the back loops only. And remember guys, we are focusing on the 7 stitches that I started from here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We are not going to count these 2. Remember, these 2 I used them when I was doing the slip stitches. So I'm going to leave this one and the second one, and then into the third one I'm going to work a back loop. That should be the first one. That should be the first one from the chains that I had made, the stitches rather. So I've worked the first, Remember, we're only working single crochets but on the back loop only. And then on this last stitch, I'll work on both the loops just to make the work nicer, because remember guys, this is going to be the edge. So I'm going to work my single crochet into both the loops like that. I have my second row complete. I'll chain one, turn my work, and then I'll work the first single crochet. I'll work on both the loops like I told you, the first one, and then I'll now work into the back loops only. So I'll work single crochets downwards again, remember we should always remain with the 7 single crochets like we started. So I have 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7. As you can see, back to this point here, just like I told you earlier, we'll be slip stitching into 2 stitches. So I'll slip stitch into the first one like that, into the second one like that. Yeah, as you can see, we are now having some extra 2 chains here, stitches, sorry, because of the slip stitches. I'll now turn my work guys like that. I'll skip the first 2 like I told you before, because these ones are the stitches we made the slip stitches with, and start working on the third one, back loop only. The last one I'm working on both the loops, chain one, turn my work, and then work the first one into the both loops, and now do the back loop single crochets only. Remember guys, each time we are working this row, we should always end up with 7 stitches, because we started with 7 chains. And then once you're down here, we'll slip stitch into the next 2 stitches like that, turn our work and begin at the 3rd stitch, because the first 2 are the ones we worked slip stitches. And just like that guys, we are now going to continue working. As you can see, the ribbing is beginning to form. We'll continue working like that until we get to this point, and I'll see you there. I've come towards the end of this work and I want to finish it with you. So I've just worked my 7 single crochets on the back loop. I'm going to slip stitch into the next 2 stitches like that, turn my work, turn my work like that, work into the 3rd stitch, the back loop only single crochets, and then a single crochet to all the loops for the last stitch, chain 1, turn my work, start with a single crochet into both the loops for the first stitch again, and then back loop only single crochets until the end of the row like that. Like this guys, and then I'll basically do a slip stitch like that and fasten off my work. So I'll just do this, get a pair of scissors, cut this, and then I'll just fasten off like that. And I believe you can already see that. I'll sew in these ends, guys. And yes, my ribbing is complete. Very beautiful, yeah. So guys, I'll see you so that we can now start working on our neckline, the sleeves, and these edges here. So guys, I'm back and I've worked one of my sleeves. As you can see, I've done this part until I've also added the ribbing. I'm just going to take you through how I worked it in this other side. So guys, I took my yarn, made a slip knot like that. Then I started working at this point here. Yes, the first stitch at this point, not this part here. I left this part here. I started at this point, not at this point where we were doing our 2 chains either. It's here. So I insert my hook, pull through that, and then I worked 2 chains, 2 chains like that, and basically continued with my herringbone double crochet like that to every stitch across. Like this. I'm going to work these herringbone double crochets. Sorry. I'm working these herringbone double crochet until I reach the end of these stitches, this point here, and then I'll see you there. I'm now completing my row of herringbone double crochets. I have a stitch to go like that. And now guys, I'm going to take you through how I'll work this point here where I isolated the sleeves earlier on. So I have these bumps here. I hope you can see them. This one, this one, this one, and this one. Yeah, I'm basically going to work like 4 herringbone double crochets there. I'll insert my hook here, another one here, another one here, and another one here. That should give me 4, yeah. So I'm going to work a herringbone double crochet like that, and then do that, but I'll not complete it. Yarn over again, work another herringbone double crochet into the next bump, yarn over, pull through like that, but not to completion, and then I'll yarn over and pull through all of them. I've joined 2 herringbone double crochets into one. Basically that's a decrease. And then I'm now going to work into these 2 remaining bumps here. So I'll yarn over, insert my hook. Sorry, it's a little bit tight. Pull through like that, but not to completion. Yarn over again, insert my hook, pull through again, not to completion. I have 3 loops. I'll yarn over and pull through all the 3 of them. Basically guys, I've worked a decrease, and then I'm basically going to slip stitch into the first, into the chain 2 I started with. So I'll slip stitch into the second chain like that. I'll now start my second row of this sleeve. I'll chain 1 and then work a herringbone double crochet into the same point, and then continue working herringbone double crochets all the way round like that. So I'll work my herringbone double crochets all the way around until I'm back at this point where I'll not be decreasing anymore. I'll just be slip stitching into this point and going all around. So guys, work on this row. I'll come back to show you how I'll slip stitch and then continue. I'm now here completing my second row. As you can see, I'm working on the stitches that I used when I was decreasing. They're a little bit big here. So I'll work a herringbone double crochet there, another one here, and then I'll slip stitch into the chain one I did earlier on, like that. I'll work a slip stitch there, I'll chain one, and then work a herringbone double crochet into the same point, like that, and then continue with my rows of herringbone double crochet. So guys, from this row henceforth we'll be going round with herringbone double crochets. Once we're at this point, we'll slip stitch into the very first stitch of that row, and then continue all the way going round until you achieve your desired length. For my case here, I worked several rows: 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 28 29 30. So I worked 30 rows of herringbone double crochets and then I added this ribbing. So I'll work the same for the other side, and then I'll come back to show you how I worked my ribbing. It's basically the same with this one, but I altered something a little. I'm here to show you how I finished my ribbing. I started this ribbing the same way I started the waistline ribbing. I started with the 7 chains and then worked the single crochet back loop only stitches. And for this case, the only difference I made is that let me show you. Let's go downwards. So I'm basically starting with the single crochet on both the loops for the first one, like the previous time I told you, and then I'm working the back loop only, like this. Now, the only difference comes here. For my waistline ribbing, I was single slip stitching into 2 stitches here. But for my case here, when I'm working the ribbing for the hands, I'm slip stitching into 3 stitches. Like that. The reason I'm doing this is because I want to have this nice look. If I try skipping only 2, it will be wide, yeah? But we want to have this beautiful look here. So I'll turn my work. When I was working the waistline ribbing, I was skipping the first 2 stitches. For this case, since I've done 3 slip stitches, I'll skip the first 3 and work into the 4th. So I'll skip 1, 2, 3 and work into the 4th and work back loop only, single crochet, like that. For the last one, I'll work into both the loops, chain 1, turn my work, and then I'll work into both the loops for the first one like always, and then do my back loop only single crochets. So like that. And then guys, I'll just slip stitch into the one remaining stitch, like that, and then I'll fasten off. I'll fasten off with my pair of scissors. So I'll leave a big piece of yarn like that. So I'll just fasten off. At this point, guys, I'm going to take my tapestry needle so that I'll now join these 2 sides. Yeah, I'll take the piece that I left out. insert it into my tapestry needle like that. And then I'll basically join these using the matrix stitch. I think it's equivalent. We have 7 stitches in each side, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This side will have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'll basically just take my yarn, work into each side as I join the sides together. It's easier because we have each stitch alternating with each other. Just like that, guys. I have my ribbing complete. Yeah, so I'll weave in these ends later on, and yeah, we're almost done with this project. Have the sleeves all complete. See, I'm now going to take you through the neckline ribbing and these edges here, and we'll get done with our work. That we now have our sweater almost complete. Yeah, now guys, I'm here to take you through this region here and the neck region. So I'm going to basically work this ribbing using rows of single crochets. I'm going to make a slip stitch like that. I'll insert my hook here, pull through the slip stitch, chain 1 like that, and then I'll work a single crochet into the same first stitch. Now I'll work a single crochet, not a double one. And guys, don't mind these ends. I'll weave in once I'm done. So I'll basically be working single crochets all the way, like that. Now at this point where we are not sure of the ends, I'm basically going to work into the end of each row. So like for this case, I'll work here a single crochet, another one here, and then another one here, another one here. You see, like every point where arrow ends, here, 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 I'll work like that until the point where our neck region starts. Sorry. I'm almost coming to the end of this region, guys. Like that. See, it's beginning to form a borderline that's so nice. I'm almost finishing that. Now for this region here, I'm going to have single crochets, like 3 of them, just to give this corner a nice look and a good branch when going into the neck region, like that. At least you can already see a corner is forming. And now, guys, for the neck region, it's easier because we have the stitches very visible. So we'll work single crochets into each stitch until we are at this point here, and then I'll meet you again. I'm now at this corner, guys, where I'm supposed to start the other side of the sweater. And like I told you before, at this corner I'll be working 3 double crochets in the same stitch. So I'm going to work 1, 2 and 3, like that. As you can see, it's already forming a nice corner. And then I'll resume working on this end of each row, just working double crochets like this, until this point here. So guys, it's basically a repeat of what I did in this other side, this one. So we'll just repeat the same thing in this other side, and then I'll see you once we are at this end here. I've finished the first row of single crochets, guys, and as you can see, it's beautiful and uniform. So I'm going to chain 1 here, turn my work, and work single crochets into every stitch back. So I'm going to work another row of single crochets all the way until we're at this point here. Once we are here, guys, we'll now come and work leaving spaces that will work as the buttonholes, and then after that we'll finish by fixing the buttons, and then our project will be complete. So guys, work your other row of single crochet, and then I'll see you. Guys, I'm now going to show you how I'll apply my buttonholes. And so I've already have some stitch markers at the points where I want to have my buttonhole. So I'm basically going to have already worked a single crochet, and then the next stitch is where I want to have my buttonhole. So I'll basically chain 2 like this, and then skip 2 and then skip 1 stitch and work a single crochet into the next part like that. And then I'll now continue working single crochets all the way like this. Until this point where I have another stitch marker, chain 2, skip that and work into this next stitch, and then I'll continue again with my single crochets like that. chain 2, skip that one and work another single crochet there, and then I'll now add one more whatever buttonhole there, and basically I'll have finished that row. I'll chain 1, turn my work, and now guys, it's already becoming easy for us. I'm now going to work one last row just to make things look a little bit nicer and avoid this stretching so much when we'll be buttoning our sweater. So I'll remove the stitch markers and work one last row of single crochets, fix my buttons, and yeah, we'll be done with our work.